So this week's video wasn't really focused on one thing. I did a bunch of different stuff. Reason being is because I'm still waiting to get some parts for this with that and that, and I was kind of undecided to begin with. I was gonna buy that motor, and then it didn't happen because I'm deciding to go with this route. But there's gonna be a little bit of fishing in this one, a little bit of welding, and stuff like that. So everybody, we officially pulled the motor out of the Toyota to come to find out why it was rattling so bad and what happened to it. So, for you that don't know, there's a series of bearings inside your connecting rods. So when your crank is spinning, the rod has something that it rotates around, being the bearing. And what can happen is the bearing can get loose and go bad, causing it to get shredded up and spin freely. It's not supposed to spin, it's supposed to stay in one spot, the bearing is. And what happens is when it gets broke free, it'll spin around, which is bad. And to tell that you have a bad rod bearing, you can always tell either from the sound or after you pull the engine and you get to looking. Without even pulling the cap off, you can see how like dark this is compared to this one right here where it's real light. You can tell that this one was bad because it got hot, super hot, because the bearing was gone, so it was just creating a lot of heat, a lot of friction. But we're gonna go ahead and pull this crank out, and that way we can take it to the machine shop, go get it looked at, and go from there. Bam, so the crank is out of this block along with everything. I pulled the piston out for this one. This is where the bearing was spun on the crank. So there's the crank, the whole crankshaft, and then that's the cradle. This here is the piston I pulled out. Obviously it's the only one. There's real bad gouging and stuff in there, so there's probably gonna need a new connecting rod. And these are the caps for the other pistons or connecting rods, and the stuff that goes with them. But we're gonna take the crank to the machine shop, see if he can polish it and see if he can fix it. Potentially, I don't know, because it's some of them are pretty gouged, along with some of these caps. Some of these caps have real bad gouging in them. I'm pretty sure somebody had this motor apart before, whether they knew what they were doing or not. I guess they knew what they were doing enough to fix it, to get it going down the road for a couple thousand more miles. But other than that, we'll see what the machine shop says, and then if he can fix that, it'd be better, because then we can do a little bit more and save us more money. But as of right now, that's where we're standing with Toyota and fixing this engine. Went ahead and pulled all the rods and everything out, the cradle, and then all the rods. And there's the crank. We're gonna have to buy a new crank, like I said, but the crank kit from O'Reilly's is like $260. Comes with main bearings, rod bearings. We are probably gonna have to buy a couple new rods, because that one's good. One of these is really, really wore out real bad. I don't know, there's supposed to be a nice little lip here. If you look between that one, you can see the lip, how it's real nice. Well, then you look at this and it's real wore. There's not much of a lip there. When I did pull these out, the rod bearings, you can see how it's wide there from being wore down. And then this bearing is, wore, but it's all right compared to that. So if you put these two together, you got this one was about to start spinning because it was almost done for. So, and all together, I think we're gonna need a couple of new rods and the bearing kit, obviously. But yeah, that's the plan. Gonna go ahead and pull the rest of this stuff off this motor. Gonna buy a gasket kit, all that cool stuff. Gonna paint this block. Gonna make it look pretty, seal it up real nice. That way we can get this thing out of the garage because it's become a shelf already. If you're wondering why my front drive shaft out of the Cummins is in here, I ordered this thing a couple months ago and I got a bad vibration today. Turns out that there's a ball spring in this drive shaft, and it turned out this ball spring, I guess, went bad or whatever, but it chewed the end of this shaft up. So message the company, see about getting a new one. Should be getting a new one. That'll be awesome. But if not, we're gonna have to figure something out. So tonight we're gonna be working on Levi's flatbed, D&D Outdoors. We're gonna go ahead and see if we can get it rest of the way put together. Something crazy. It's his design. He came up with. Not too sure, but I'm gonna go ahead and inquire this into the video I already started for the Toyota. By the way, we're probably gonna go get a motor, another motor for this tomorrow, just for the lower end because mine needed rod bearings. So Levi's gonna go ahead and explain his whole design on this.
Alright, so it had a normal bed on it to begin with, and to be honest, I just got tired of it and wanted something different because I'm me, you know. But anyway, so I got to looking at a couple different designs. So I just didn't like a straight flat bed, and I wanted a little bit of hips or something on it. So that's how we come up with doing the angles. And then it's 5 foot from inside to inside and 82 from top to top on each side. And then we're going to come down right here on this, and it's going to be kind of like a flat shank back here to let it roll up on the sides. And then this right here is going to come back to here just like this piece right here on this triangle piece. And then we're going to build a headache rack, and then there's also going to be a dovetail type deal on it also. But that's where we're at on it right now. But all in all right now, I only got $350 into the bed. All in all reality, I'll probably have $600 in it compared to $2,200 compared to anybody else. I know Bradford built's about $2,100, and a couple other places around here is about, right around the same price, maybe a little bit even more. Made another butthole.
Pretty much what we got going, folks.
Don't make no fucking filler wrong. It's for no homo pussies. Wait a minute.
What's up, y'all? Out here private pond fishing today, D&D Outdoors. I'm using this little swim bait from Academy. Never tried one before, but I'm gonna get most of it on the GoPro. See if we can catch any monsters out here. First fish of the day. Did you catch them on that little homemade rig? Looks good.
As soon as I went to hit the water,
He's a nice little fish.
I'll tell you about 9-10 inches.
Using this little contraption right here. Well, I guess I'm gonna see if I can't get one now. Fuck, I'm down. No fish so far. Not good.